Hello, everybody. I'm back. I thought I would do one more topic before I end it for tonight. I make one more video. The topic I wanted to talk about is what is the golden rule? You know, that golden rule that people go by. Well, I wanted to talk about that today and how the Bible has a lot to do with that too. Um, it doesn't talk about, the golden rule does not appear in the Bible. However, many use this term to refer to a rule of conduct that Jesus taught in his famous Sermon on the Mount. Jesus said, "All things that you want men to do to you, you also must do to them." And how it states in, I'm going to give some verses too, so it helps you to see that sometimes the Bible does give a lot of common sense um, way that we are to treat people, as the Golden Rule says, as we state. In Matthew 7:12, it states that all things, therefore, that you want men to do to you, you also must do to them. This, in fact, is what the law and the prophets mean. And in Luke 6:31, it states also, just as you want men to do to you, do the same way to them. And the golden rule has also been expressed in this way: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. What is the meaning of the golden rule? Well, the golden rule encourages us to treat others as we would like to be treated. For instance, most people appreciate it when others treat them with respect, kindness, love. Logically, then we should do the same way to others. As it says, I think I read this before, but in Luke 6:31 it says, also just as you want men to do to you, do the same way to them. And why is the golden rule beneficial? Well, the golden rule is beneficial which applies to many situations, such as it does strengthen marriages, which it says in Ephesians 5:28, in the same way husbands should love their wives as their own bodies, and a man who loves his wife loves himself. And then um Ephesians 5:33, it says, nevertheless, each one of you must love his wife as he does himself. On the other hand, the wife should have deep respect for her husband. See how it goes? The golden rule kind of like works that way in scripture. And it strengthens a marriage when that happens. When you apply that, but it's up to you to apply it. And if the other person is willing to apply it the same way, it would definitely work. And it says guide parents when raising their children. And this is in Ephesians 6:4. It says, and fathers, do not be irritating your children, but go on bringing them up in the discipline and admonition of Jehovah. So basically, fathers or even mothers aren't to be irritating their children. Because sometimes we do. We just don't realize it, but we do. And it says, but go on bringing them up in the discipline and admonition of Jehovah. And promote good relations between friends, neighbors, and workmates, which in Proverbs 3:27 it states, "Do not withhold good from those to whom you should give it. If it is within your power to help, do not say to your neighbor, 'Go away and come back later.' I will give it to you tomorrow. You and it says, if you can give it now." Basically, what that's saying is in Proverbs, this is Proverbs 3:27, 28, 28. And it's basically, do not withhold good from those to whom you should give it. And if it is within your power to help, that means we shouldn't withhold it from them. We should just give it. Give it from our heart, that we're willing to put that effort forth to show that golden rule to them. And it's from the scriptures. It's amazing how the golden rule could be very biblical too. And Colossians 3:13, it states, "Continue putting up with one another and forgiving one another freely, even if anyone has a cause for complaint against another. Just as Jehovah freely forgave you, you must also do the same." And this is about, we're all imperfect human beings. And we have faults. We do. We have our imperfections. And sometimes some of us have to work on certain things to make ourselves better people. And this is a verse that kind of helps us to see how forgiving someone freely from our hearts, we're willing to, forgive them if they did something wrong to us or if we did something wrong to them. Because no matter how, we're all imperfect and we will have our faults. It's just how you approach it. And it says the golden rule captures the spirit behind a major portion of what is commonly called the Old Testament. It's amazing. It's right there. Jesus rule of conduct is what the law, the first 5 books of the Bible, and the prophets and the prophetic books mean. And in Matthew 7:12, it states, "All things therefore that you want men to do to you, you also must do to them. This in fact is what the law and the prophets mean." In other words, the golden rule sums up a basic tenet of the Old Testament: love of neighbor. And here it goes in Romans 13:8-10. "Do not owe anything to anyone except to love one another. For whoever loves his fellow man has fulfilled the law. For the law code must not you must not commit adultery, you must not murder, you must not steal, you must not covet, and whatever other commandments there is summed up in this saying: you must love your neighbor as yourself. Love does not work evil to one's neighbor. Therefore, love is the law's fulfillment. Isn't that amazing? And thus, the Golden Rule encourages people to do good to all. How can you apply the Golden Rule? Be obedient, as it states. Pay close attention to those around you. For instance, you may see someone struggling to carry groceries. Hear of a neighbor who is hospitalized, or notice that a workmate is discouraged. When you look out for the interest of others, you will likely find opportunities to say or do something helpful. And that in Philippians 2:4, as you look out, not only for your own interests, but also for the interest of others. Be empathetic. And it says here, imagine yourself in the other person's place. How would you feel if you were in the same situation? In Romans 12:15, it states, rejoice with those who rejoice, and weep with those who weep. When you try to understand the feelings of others, you may feel moved to help them. And be flexible. Keep in mind that everyone is different, and that is fact. What others would like to have done for them may not be the same as what you would want to have done for you. So out of the many things you could do, try to choose what they would appreciate most. And in 1 Corinthians 10:24, it states, let each one keep seeking not his own advantage, but that of the other person. Basically, here, this is like the Golden Rule. It's teaching us to be loving. It's teaching us to help others, love our neighbors, love our friends, love our family. And all this that is applied can work in many ways in your family life, friends, even at work, um, in a community. You see someone suffering. Are you willing to help them? You see an old woman walking down the street with groceries and she's struggling just to make it home. Are you willing to help her? You know? So it is important to really keep in mind, as they call it, the golden rule, is that God is teaching us to be loving people and how to forgive, how to love, how to definitely love. Love is not just an emotional thing for like a spouse, but you can have a love for your family, a love for a friend, a love for a neighbor, a love for just someone just walking down the street, needing help. Are you willing to help them? That's the love that we're talking about. Love of people. People giving out, caring, empathetic, and loving help to those that really need it. And how we are imperfect also, you know, can we forgive? It's important to forgive. It shows how loving we are. Can we put like certain things aside, and really talk about it with the person, and maybe we could come to a conclusion and become peaceful with each other. Sadly, the in this world there are a lot of wicked people, but there are also loving people. And when you show that love is more powerful than any hate. And when that person is peaceful and loving and so helpful out of their own hearts and forgiving, that person could see that love and that kindness. It would be hard for them to want to be vicious back at you. But if they are, all we can do is that we tried our best. And I mean, it's not saying that, I mean, it is hard to forgive sometimes on certain things, but to get over it and just move on, and then maybe talk to the person and say, hey, you know, what you did wasn't right. I didn't appreciate it. And it's the tone that you use also. That is very important. So really, really think about those things when you look at people in the community, your loved ones, your children, your your wife, your husband, your family, your friends, your coworkers. Think about that loving attitude, the golden rule. I just thought to do this topic because um, I thought that was a very interesting thing that I saw, and it's true, and it's very biblical too at the same time. We just don't, acknowledge things like that. Just common basic things. It's just also very biblical, right in the scriptures. But it's just the way you know, you want to apply it. Some people don't care, but it's good to have that attitude because there's so many people on this earth that are very angry people, very hateful, but there are still some of us that are very loving that are still left here. They're still living and trying to become better people by applying this love. Um, I just hope you got something out of this video, and maybe you can try it. And I put some scriptures with it to prove that a lot of that golden rule is in the scriptures. It's in the scriptures itself. It's just people just don't want to acknowledge that because they feel like um the Bible is an old book or something like that. It's not. It's basic knowledge that has helped many people for thousands of years, even today. And even they talk about our time. 2,000 years ago, they talk about our time, everything that's happening now. Isn't that amazing? Wow. But I just thought I would make this topic and hopefully you get something out of this. And hopefully, maybe, like I said, maybe you can try some of them and see what kind of response and how you feel after. I guarantee you feel so much better within yourself, knowing that you're putting that golden rule into play. You're helping others, you're forgiving, you're putting your love forward for people that need help. And you're applying it into your family. It's amazing. If the other person's willing to work with you, it can really make your family much happier if you apply it the right way and correctly. Well, thank you for watching my last video for tonight. I'm sure I will definitely make some more. Maybe eventually, I really want to start eventually here making more, I don't know, more like going out in the community and talking to people and really going in depth with the community and stuff like that. And also I really want to do that, but I haven't attempted it yet. I'm still learning how to talk to people like this. I mean, when I um go into the ministry, I talk to people, but it's like really communicating with the world. And this is media. I mean, this is the internet, and this goes worldwide. So I'm like talking to whoever's looking, whoever's watching. So, I mean, that's kind of hard for me. So I'm working on that. So when I get much better at this, maybe I can start going more in depth. Like, I want to do like history things that I find in my family, because I find my dad's family very interesting and my mom's family too, but mostly my dad's because it's so mixed. I want to see where everything happened. And like I said, I want to, even if it means traveling, eventually I want to do so much. There's so much you can do with the internet and really, have people see you with with educational stuff. I love stuff like that. Well, enough for tonight. I'm gonna let you go. Adios, adios, adios. Until my next video. Bye. Bye.